Hey, everybody, it's me, Amelia Lady B, and welcome back to my channel. You are back for part 2 of the Black Woman's Plight. I hope you enjoyed part 1. If you haven't seen part 1, stop and go back and watch part 1 because we are picking up the conversation, and I hope you enjoy.
Was hindering. And then we've been in situations where we have been hindered,
Right,
you know?
absolutely. I want to go back to the point where you guys were talking about Harry. Both of you mentioned, that, and I love that support that he provided to her, and also back to the media as well, because in the media, I'm hearing, is Harry going to stay with Meghan and all this stuff, and I'm just like, come on, you guys, you got to stop. You got to stop at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do love how just watching it and seeing how when he came out, they held hands and it was like they were holding on to each other's life. It was like, don't let go. And that hit me. I was like, ooh, that's powerful. Just a hand holding was so powerful. And the way he looked at her, and it was like, I got you. It's like you could see them talking without them muttering a word, uttering a word. It was just like, I got you. And I love that support, and that's something that we all need, regardless of if he was white or black. Women, men need it, but we need that. We need to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said that she wasn't heard, she didn't feel like she was being heard. And then even Harry said the same thing. He was like, my wife didn't feel heard, so we had to go. And that's in layman's terms, we had to go. you know
Mm-hmm.
I had to do what it took to keep her safe, to keep my child safe. And if it meant leaving the palace, then it is what it is.
I also feel too that Harry was afraid because of what happened to his mom, and he
Absolutely.
said it, and he said it because he said, I know where this was going. I saw where it was going, and so I also believe that Harry was the trauma of what happened to his mom. He took that to heart and he learned from that, and he was like, I'm not trying to repeat the past. And I mean, he actually voiced that with Oprah. So I felt like he did what was necessary so that the past wouldn't become a repeat occurrence in his own life. He took matters into his own hands, and he was also forced to, because of them cutting off the support. He was forced to do what he was to do, and so I'm grateful that they found a home here in America. I'm grateful that they are protected and that there is space for them to grow and to thrive here, because the worst place to feel is it being in a palace and trapped. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, all eyes on you. People are coveting where you are, and you're in a palace feeling trapped. Is that a life to live? So I feel like this is actually the new chapter and a new freedom that they've found. Yet I know, it's gonna take a lot of healing and stuff, but I just really, I'm so happy for them, and I know it came with a lot of loss, but the best is yet to come.
Absolutely.
That's my prayer for them, that the best is yet to come.
Absolutely. I think I've been praying for her since she said yes, I do. Because I almost saw it, not specifically what she went through, but I saw that it would be a little bit difficult because you do have to you're now a part of the royal family. Things are different. You can't call mom when you want to. You can't call your friends and have them over and have girl time when you want to, you know, leave the country when you want to. It's all scheduled for you. Your life is then scheduled for you. And so, um, yeah, we just got to keep them lifted in prayer, definitely.
Yeah.
But I just love how they are holding on to one another for dear life and just keeping their heads up in this moment. And even while during this interview, it's like a release for them. And I believe that it was therapeutic for them as well. I believe it could have it has its pros and its cons, as you know. But I think they stay away from social media if I'm not mistaken, because the next morning on CBS News, um, Oprah said Meghan texted her and said, "Hey, how's it going in the media?" And so I thought that was kind of cute. You know, they're keeping themselves away from that because they already know how it's going to happen, you know, what's going to happen in the media.
I would like to believe that the US media is going to be kinder.
Yeah.
I would like to believe that the US media is going to be kinder to them. And by kinder, I don't even mean kind. I mean maybe more fair reporting.
Yeah.
Because so American media is over the past 4 or 5 years, and we have reasons for that, fact checking has become a thing, like a really big thing. So even when things are not reported right, or if they are reported, if nobody else does, CNN is going to fact check. You'll see something that says, well, this is what was claimed, this is the actual truth
Mm-hmm.
of the matter. So they're not just going to say in American media, People or USA Today or, the Globe, they're not going to say, she made so and so cry. Like, they're not going to do
Yeah.
that because that's going to be fact checked. They're going to say, actually, that is not what happened. Sources who were there said this. Like, they're not going to just let stuff fly to appease people.
Right.
So hopefully that'll be some relief for them too. Now they might get dragged on social media.
That's a whole nother thing, right?
Right. But like the news machines are not going to do them like that.
Yeah. I think they have to really be careful too with we're in a very high racially driven climate right now. And so they better be careful because it's like,
They'll come for you.
yeah.
I also want to kind of dial that back a little bit and talk about us as bring it personal. For example, if a woman, if you see a sister and they're trashing her, whether they're dragging her on social media or whether it's in the workplace or wherever it is, we have a responsibility. And I think we got to get back to that. We got a social responsibility to stand up to bullies, whether it is in the corporate environment or whatever environment that you're in. We have a responsibility because if we're talking about progressing as a society, then we got to get back to building relationships and trust, whether no matter what the color of your skin is, light skin, dark skin, or whatever shade. And so I believe the lesson in all of this is yes, fact check and stand up for the truth.
Absolutely.
Stand up for the truth. Don't be a silent participator. Don't let your silence lynch someone, but stand up for the truth so that we can truly heal as women and be contributors. Because why do you think there is so much division? If there is division among us, we can't produce. We can't produce on our optimal level. So I think it's so important for us to really get to that place where we can heal and become productive and really shine as who God created us to be.
What you said makes me think about how also we shouldn't just assume that people are okay because they seem to have it together.
True.
Folks could look at them and think, oh, they got money, they have all this access to power and all these opportunities and things like that. I'm sure she's fine. Or, oh, her husband really cares about her. I'm sure she's fine. Sometimes we think if people look like they barely making it and they just trying to hold on, you reach out to them. But some of the people that, might be folks that others would envy, we have to check in on people as well. But checking in on people, and a lot of times there is this, like checking in is like trendy or something now. So you'll see posts about check in on your blah, blah, blah friend. We're not okay. Or, which one are you? And then you put in the comment, whatever color heart or something. But that is not checking in with someone. That is, maybe you wanting to appear that you are doing something, but checking in on people can look like calling them instead of texting them and asking them questions like, have you been sleeping okay?
Yes.
Asking certain questions that kind of get people into talking about what their day is looking like. And then that's going to give you a glimpse of if they're okay
Mm-hmm.
or not. Because if you ask somebody a question, for example, like, how have you been sleeping lately? Then you're going to get, well,
Yeah.
I've been only getting a few hours. I'm okay, you know,
Yeah.
type of thing. And that's just one example, but
Mhm.
not just assuming that people are okay. I understand that Meghan is really close friends with Serena. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
he's talking more about that. So I'm also glad that she's here and that Serena can like visit and they can just be
Yeah.
together and have the kid together and things like that. But with us not gathering like how we used to, we have to be so super intentional now with checking on our friends and not just assuming they're okay
Hmm.
because they are married or they have a partner or something
Right.
like that. Because not all husbands are like Harry. But
Right.
even those who are, sometimes, you know, sometimes people are not saying how they really are doing.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. This isolation has brought about a lot of therapists are making money.
Mm.
um, but I mean, we need them, and I do like the fact that even in this time that therapists are now being normalized. Um, a lot of women, a lot of people are talking about, listen, we need therapy. You need to go to therapy. You need to, get some help. And just talk. It doesn't, you don't have to be diagnosed with anything. You don't have to be, dealing with anything in that manner, but, just to get some help. And so, yeah, we really do have to check on one another. And I feel like too, as content creators, our responsibility too is to check in with our people. I'm pretty sure we get DMs from certain people that just look for certain advice and things like that. And every now and then I'll DM somebody, I'll check on them and say, hey, how's it going? Since the last time we spoke, how are you? How's everything going? And we do have a responsibility, as well. But we do need to check on each other.
So I think, it's our responsibility, kind of like what you said, our social responsibility to, yes, use social media, use every media outlet that we can afford to make sure that people are good, to make sure that we're growing healthy, and to be responsible, not to just be saying anything out of our mouths, but to speak wholesome truth that people can really, heal. They can get the courage to forgive. It's our responsibility as content creators, as coaches, as consultants, in whatever manner you serve, you have a responsibility and your voice. God has given us a voice. But for what? Is it to build or is it to destroy? We've got to be intentional on how we use our platforms, how we use our voice so that we can truly heal and move forward. I think for me, that's the key. That is the crux of the matter. And I think it's so important now than ever. Students and young people are looking at us. What are we showing them? What are we showing them? Are we showing them the way, or are we just walking around in a circle, just following a trend? Not. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you're going to leave a legacy, and that's what matters most.
Absolutely. So I want to kind of wrap things up. And this conversation was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Thank you all. So wrapping things up, I just want to say I want you guys to think about if what would be your closing remarks um, toward Harry and Meghan, maybe Meghan specifically, if she was to come to you as in your platform, from your platform to you, as a coach, or yeah, what would be your advice?
Okay. I was just trying to imagine what you were saying. And I think that more than anything, I would want her to know that this is just a part of her story, that she is about to experience the best days
Mhm.
of her life.
Yes.
I know that it has been said many times, and I'm sure someone has told her that, you know, you went through this for a reason. I'm not necessarily saying that it had to be this way for her to get whatever the lesson is,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know that God can use anything, and
Yeah.
he can use this. And the choices that they have made together, the choices that she is making now. So this is going to change the trajectory of her life, not just hers, but generations to come. Archie is a baby. He won't even remember this. He
Right.
won't remember this. He will read about it because it's history now, you know, and he will get to see what his mom did for him. And baby girl definitely won't know anything about it. Like, their lives and the generations that come after them are just going to be so respected and so revered just around the world. It's just a great thing, you know. And I'm just reminded of other women in history who they did not seem like anything was going to come of the situation that they were in because it was so bad. And it just, you know, it was just an amazing story. So I would want her to know that she's entering the best days of her life, that it is only up from here, and that she's leaving a legacy of courage
Mm-hmm.
to Archie and baby girl and all the generations after this.
Because I remember something that both Megan and Harry said, and they said they wanted to carry on the legacy of Diana. And
Mm,
that's exactly what they're doing because she
yeah.
was a trailblazer. You
Mhm.
know, we don't remember anybody else in the royal family, but we remember Princess Diana. Okay. We know she did it. She won the hearts of the people. And
Yeah.
so I felt like what Megan and Harry are doing, they're winning the hearts of the people. And that is such a massive legacy that they're leaving. And they're trailblazers. That's really what they're doing. They're leaving a new legacy of the monarchy. And I think it's in the best interest, just my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, it is in the best interest of the monarchy to actually follow their lead. You know, this idea of white supremacy, this idea of one race is superior to the other, we already know that's a social construct, and it has been fallacy for years to come, and it's falling. And the reason why it's falling is because trailblazers like Harry and Meghan have decided to say, no, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to do it the right way. And so, man, keep on moving,
Yeah.
keep on blazing that trail.
Yeah. I would definitely tell them to love conquers all, love conquers all, and to keep, to keep being there for one another, keep being there for one another, because already you can see just how much the support that she received from her husband is what gave her life in that place to say to herself, I'm gonna live. If he had not have supported her in that, we would not have a Meghan to talk about. We wouldn't have, Oprah wouldn't have had that interview, because she was serious about her attempt. And I would definitely encourage them to continue to keep their circle very tight,
Yeah.
to continue to check on one another, to continue to separate themselves from the outside. Um, Too much of the media will get to you, and it will kind of entangle things, and we don't need no
Thank
entangling things, no entanglements. We don't need any of that. So yeah. And from a health perspective, definitely you know taking care of yourselves, because she's pregnant now. All of
Mhm.
this stuff plays a big role on her daughter, her bringing her into the world, and she needs to be as less stressed as possible, nutrition wise, sleeping. She needs as much, healthy, she needs to be as healthy as possible to bring her daughter into this world as safely. Okay.
There it is.
You had something else to say? I'm sorry.
No, yes, and amen to everything y'all said. If I were going to add one more thing, I would say that we also have to be okay with letting people respond however they're going to be
Yeah.
after we have spoken our truth, because
Yes.
sometimes we feel like we have to make other people okay. Black women do that a lot. So I read that dumb statement that the palace released yesterday,
Yes.
talking
See it.
about
I didn't see it.
child, talking about they, are saddened. That was the word they used. Saddened to hear the extent of the experiences of
Wow.
Harry and Meghan. I'm like, but weren't you were there? You were there. What is you talking about? And then the other line that got me was they would have liked if they had, come together to be able to discuss this, before there was an interview. Now, that to me just sounds exactly like what an abuser would say.
Absolutely.
That's a like, you made me hit you. That's,
Controlling.
well, I feel like we could have maybe just talked. What do we, there is nothing else to talk about. I mean, all of these things. So I say that to say, and I actually told somebody this last year. I won't say too much about it in case they watch this, but I will say that it was toxic. Let me say, it was an unbalanced friendship.
Yeah.
And after I spoke the truth, I was met with some Buckingham Palace statement type stuff.
Wow.
And what I said was, it is not my responsibility to manage your responses around what I said. Now that part is on you, because people will want you, to do that. So for anybody that's in a situation, a tough situation that they're literally trying to escape, that they need to be delivered out of, don't feel like you then have to over explain, well, I'm just doing this because I feel like, you don't have to make no announcements to your abuser, to your oppressor, to the person who's been hurting you. You don't need to announce to them that you're leaving, that you're not doing it anymore. You don't need to do that. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Stand firm in what you believe in for yourself.
Right.
Stand firm in your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Don't let anybody bring you back in.
Awesome.
Well, ladies, that is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Such a great conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We'll do it again.
Well, I hope you enjoyed part 2 of this amazing conversation, The Black Woman's Plight. This interview had so many layers to unpack, and I know we didn't get to unpack all of them, but for time's sake, we couldn't do it all. But I hope you got something from the conversation. I hope you're able to apply something into your own life. Remember, when you see things on social media, when there's things around you that are triggering to you and kind of brings you back to the past, and it makes you feel anxious or it makes you feel depressed, step back from all of the information that's being put out there. But also, a great takeaway is to take care of yourself. Remember to take care of your mental health. It is very important that you notice the signs of any triggering things. Notice the sign of when you might feel depressed, and don't be afraid to get help. Speak up for yourself, ladies. Whenever you feel like you're going into a dark place, call somebody and check on all your friends. I'm not saying, we said in the interview, it's not all about checking on your strong friend. Check on your friends in general. Really ask the question, are you okay? And be ready for the answer. Be ready to provide some kind of support for them. And just surround yourself with a tribe that will take care of you. Until next time, ladies, be blessed, bold, and beautiful.